It's been 30 years since the premiere of Martin.
Yeah,
And I thought,
92. Yeah.
and I thought it was really well done. I thought that there was a nice tribute to Tommy Ford. And I thought it was a lot, it was very positive. They had the Snoop showing up, Tommy Davidson, Leandra Johnson, and I found out that most of the cast pretty much knew each other before they started filming, and there was a lot of ad libs with some of the
Marla
special
Gibbs made
guests.
an
Oh,
appearance.
Marla Gibbs!
And
How do I forget Marla
who was what,
Gibbs?
90, 91 years
She's
old.
91. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
love
was
that.
fabulous.
I,
Yeah.
I love that. But there's something that I wanted to mention before you go in with whatever. Was the sexual harassment lawsuit that Tisha Campbell had. Um, and a lot of people were talking about it online and wondering how they were going to navigate around that. And there was an article from the GQ magazine that Martin said it was a lot of BS about Tisha's lawsuit. Just whomever side it was BS, he said. And then he said, we don't need to talk about something that just didn't happen. So I just decided to walk away from the show. I just decided to end it. People said that I got canceled, but that wasn't the case. I decided to just leave the show. And apparently, Tisha Campbell read that article, or either saw the interview on TV, and she called him and let Martin know that we were all good. And this was like in 2020. So I didn't know that tidbit of information. It was, I guess it made sense that Martin decided to end the show because I thought that the show was still popular. But when it got to the point where they couldn't be on the same scene with each other, and they were husband and wife, and they were supposed to still be a loving couple and married,
How could the show
how could the show
continue?
continue?
Right,
Right.
right. How could
Right.
it how could Lucy and Ricky continue without Lucy and Ricky? Made
Right.
it now become something different. So the
Right.
same thing with them. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, they didn't mention it, during the reunion,
Mhm.
and they seemed very warm toward each other, and just very friendly. It didn't, they didn't seem to be strained at all.
But Martin didn't seem like himself to me. Martin seemed very
Martin was
severe
more,
and
well, Martin
serious.
was more subdued in general, but
Yeah,
not specifically to do with Tisha Campbell.
correct.
He
Yeah,
was just,
I agree.
because he said how he wanted T to be his wife, and he knew if he could get her for the show, it would work out. And they were heaping praises on each other. So
Hmm.
they seemed totally good with each other. But
Hmm.
Martin overall was way more laid back, way more subdued than the Martin of
30 years
about
ago.
30 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
But they
Cole,
all seemed more energetic than him, though. That was just the thing. It wasn't,
yeah, yeah. Well, maybe he is actually in his off time when he's not Martin, maybe he is more laid back because we always saw him in character,
Yeah,
so maybe that's really more of who he is when he's not in character.
yeah,
So,
that's true.
think about it. Anytime we ever see him, he's performing.
Right. Yeah.
But in this documentary, he's not actually performing,
Yeah.
So and maybe that's an issue, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But yeah, he was a totally more laid back, totally a more relaxed and subdued kind of presence from Martin.
Because they all seemed, besides him, they all seemed really
Energetic.
funny, and
Yeah, yeah,
like they were
yeah.
spontaneous, and they kind of seemed like you can see how they would be cast in those roles because there was a part of them that was in that role that they played. But I didn't get that with Martin.
You know what? And you know what else I got? Now, maybe I read this all wrong, but
Mhm.
the other thing I got was like he was their boss, even though they were working together and peers and so forth. I got it that he came across like he was their boss. And when they were saying like, oh, they always wanted to make him laugh and this and that and so forth, and it was important to them to get his approval and so forth. And he came across more like he was not really exactly their peer. Not that he was condescending,
No,
but
yeah, I didn't
but
think
but
about it
he
that way.
but yeah, but to me, And to some extent, he was. I know he didn't write their checks directly, but to some extent, he was because he had to do a lot with who
Well,
was.
he chose who he wanted in the show.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
And so,
it
right.
was like
And
yeah.
yeah. And so, and he came across kind of like a little, I'm here, but I we were all doing this and that, but I was a little bit over here.
But
And that's how he came across to me.
but Ma, like I'm gonna equate it to something, obviously more recent, like the Insecure. Issa Rae, we always knew that she was the boss, but I never got that feeling like I felt a warmthness with her more so than I did with Martin and them.
Where, under what circumstances?
Well, just kind of after the show was over, like when they're showing, I forgot it wasn't really a documentary about Insecure, but they were showing some footage and it just seemed different to me. It seemed more Martin didn't come across as being mean or anything like that.
No.
He seemed, like you said, more subdued, more laid back, more melancholy. He didn't seem like happy and energetic like the rest of the cast did. And when Insecure was on, I've got that Issa Rae, we knew there was always this thing where we knew she was the boss, but we also got that she was like friendly with them. And
Martin came across as totally not part of the gang.
Right.
He did not come across like he was part of whatever they were doing. He didn't seem like he was part of it.
Right. I got you. That's where I was going. Thanks for that.
Well,
okay. So okay.
Go, sweetie.
No, go ahead. Is there anything else that you want to say about it?
I love the tribute to Tommy. I love that. I mean, it would seem like just almost a flat out funeral that they had for Tommy. And a memorial service, I guess would be a better term. And I love that. I love that they embraced Tommy and they acknowledged that they missed him and they acknowledged what a major part of the Martin show that Tommy was. And I really liked that. And I liked it that they had his wife and children there. And I thought it was really different. And I thought it was sad, and I was happy for them at the same time. So
I thought it was well done. I thought that they spent a lot of time and effort. And I thought it was really cute. I thought the host was good. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. I've seen him in many things, but I thought he did a good job because he seemed like a true fan. I love, like we said, the cameos. I like that they mentioned about some of the guest stars that weren't really celebrities until they appeared on the show. Like Tracy Morgan obviously blew up, and then, Bro Man. Like I like that they, when they brought Bro Man actually.
Bro Man was there. Yeah, Bro Man made his appearance,
and I liked it. And I liked I thought Tashina Arnold, I think that she looked great. I thought that obviously Tashina Arnold is in a series now. She's in a series with Cedric the Entertainer, and she's
with the neighbor or something like that.
And so is was it Carl Anthony Payne? Is that he's in one on, I think, did they say Disney? He's in so he's working. I don't know what Tisha Campbell is doing right now, but I know that, she always, picks up a job here and there, because she's obviously extremely talented. So, and Martin had like the Bad Boys movie that came out, fairly recently. So, Martin, he's obviously the star and made a name for himself, but it was just really, really well done. And like you said, different. They did mention about the possibility, they asked about the possibility of doing a reboot, and he pretty much kind of shut it down, especially being that Tommy is gone.
Well, he said never say never, but it would be very difficult with Tommy gone.
Right.
And, he really didn't sort of, encourage the idea.
And I don't see him doing that anymore, because remember when we saw him in whatever it was with Kelsey Grammer. I don't remember the name of that series.
That was the worst.
And he wasn't funny. And neither was Kelsey Grammer.
Neither one of them were funny. Both of them seemed like they were just lifeless, and very, very low energy. They were horrible together.
Yeah.
They were horrible.
Yeah.
I think they only had 1 or 2 episodes or whatever it was.
It didn't last long.
Right on, off. And it needed to go off. It was terrible.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I was happy to see the reunion. I was happy to see them all together.
well
I
done.
mean, Martin's a little heavier, Tisha Campbell's a little heavier.
Well, I can't help that,
Tashina,
Ma.
no, Tachina and Cockroach,
Carl Anthony Pan,
Cole,
yeah,
Paul
Cole.
Anthony Page, yeah, whichever name you want to call them by. They looked just about the way they always looked, in terms of weight and everything, and they've kept themselves in good shape. The other two weren't bad now, the other two weren't bad, but little middle-aged spread, but not too bad, not outrageous. It was just good to see them. It was just good to see them. And they all had such good attitudes, and it was just wonderful to see them.
Yeah, I thought it was well done. I enjoyed it. So I
I,
hope you
I
guys
did
get a
too.
chance to check it
Yeah,
out. It's on
yeah.
BET Plus, guys. So
Okay,
check it
yeah.
out there.
And and pay tribute. Yeah, pay
Yeah.
tribute to Tommy and the show. So, okay.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out full episodes of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour podcast streaming on most platforms.